Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Monday, September 15th, 2025. Here for my weekly cross-stitch update, and Smokey is here with me. So, I have a lot to share today, so we need to just jump right in. First of all, I realized I'd forgotten to share my last package from the Fat Quarter Shop, so I should show that real quick here. Yeah, Smokey wants to find out too. There's some alpha clippies, marking clips. So they're basically like ABC 1, 2, 3 to put to clip your stacks of fabric together when you're making complicated quilts. I'm like, that could be fun and helpful. And they have a stitchy board, which is a metal board that you can stick in. There's like this pocket thing that came as well. But you can clip things to it. I saw here you could make it a needle minder like tray. You can even finish things on it. This is just a pattern, but you could like wrap something around foam core, you know, and magnet it to it. So that's kind of fun. This one is, I guess I don't know if it has the color. Oh, cloud. So it's that creamy color. So that's fun too. There's set Z stitch cards, which are all sewing themed, which is very cute. I like the tomato pincushion down there. So I don't know if this means, since quilters continue on with like AABB, I don't know if they'll keep going or if we're done with Z, we'll see. The Hometown Neighborhood has a new one, Quilt Star House. This one says, what I love most about my home is who I share it with, which is very nice. Bushels and Pecks by Kim Deal, quilt pattern. That's fun. A lot of glare here, sorry. And then this is a Bee Sweet ornaments. So they're bee themed ornaments. They've had a lot of these for various holidays and seasons. These are bees, which is kind of cute. Those are fun. And then two more seed packet series. So we have asters for, I think asters are the September flower, which is fun, and cosmos, which are a really gangly flower. We had a lot of these growing in Oregon, so those are fun. Those are my two new ones for the seed packet series that I am currently stitching on, so that's fun. So that's some of their latest new items at the Fat Quarter Shop. Here she is. Hi, kitty. All right, so travel stitching. The seed packet series that I'm currently working on is Poppies, and made some good progress this week. So here is where I am now. This is a minor on 25 count, Bee Stitch Me Lugana in Sand Dollar, 1/1 full cross. And I got all the poppy done. And a little bit more of the border done, bringing that down now. So there's still the number, the rest of the border, and the word Stitchy Seed Company. So I think I could probably finish this week. So that would be fun. And maybe while we're talking travel stitching, I'll show you. If I finish it this week, I will be starting the last installment of the Cats and Hearts series by Kitty and Me Designs. This one is for November. So I would like to finish this before November, so I think I have a good shot at it. I've had a decent amount of stitchy time this school year, so all of October and part of September I think will be enough to get this done. So it's going to be nice, pretty fall colors. Definitely in the mood for that now, so that's great. So possibly I'll get a start on that later this week. Or early next week, we'll see. I worked on Books of the Bible a little bit in the car. This is my Big Toe Designs, and I'm enjoying this one. I did not do any more for the AB Singo challenge like I did last week. So I just did the little greenery that's there in the middle. This is a Bee Stitch Me 25 count in Through the Stones, and it's 1/1 with the called for silks. Did this little motif here in the middle. Was able to finish it in the car, which is good because I have lots of other things I'm doing at home these days, on Sundays especially. So So it was nice to have just a little bit to do. Now she's gonna go mess around by the door. Okay, so that's my travel stitching. Then my bonus stitching I've been working on for like every day has been for the La Vuelta cycling race, which now is over. It finished yesterday. So I've been stitching the number of kilometers they're cycling every day for all 3 cycling races they've had this year. The Giro d'Italia in May, and then the Tour de France in July, and here the La Vuelta in late August, early September. So, and I've been doing it fairly like monogamously, trying to finish things. And I've been able to finish a project each time, at least once. So that's really great. So I did manage to finish one more using this method. This is Enchanted Alphabet by Lavender and Lace. And I took the girl out and rearranged this middle section a little bit, shifted the bunny over to be in the middle instead with some, put an extra bush in there. So I'm happy with my finish. Where is it? Here it is. Got this done last night, so this is fun. Here is mine all done. This is a 46 count linen in Society Time, and it's 1/2 full cross, called for DMCs. And I've got the little bunny in the middle, super cute, and all these bushes are done, and the butterfly is done as well. So yay, everything's done. That's always fun when that sort of thing, when anything, this one's been in my pile for a little while, my whip pile. So that's especially fun when these get finished. The little travel pieces getting finished is fun, but it's like definitely more of a buzz and an accomplishment when the long-term projects get finished. So that's exciting. With the cycling races, it's, especially here in September, it's gotten to be too much to do a full, the full numbers of stitches that the cycling races require. While also doing all these other little challenges that I've kind of thrown on. Because in September here, I've added the gridiron grind for football, and then the baking show. So it's like, there's a lot going on. So I was kind of reevaluating next year's bonus stitching, and I think I will only keep the Tour de France next year, because that one's in July, which is the 1 month of the year that has no school at all for my kids. So in May is like the end of the school year, in August, September is the beginning of the school year. So both of those times it's busy, you know, evenings have things going on. It's harder to get all the extra little bits and bobs in. July is a little easier. So I think I'll go ahead and stick with a monogamous project for the Tour de France bonus stitching, but I will not do the Giro d'Italia or the La Vuelta next year. I'll just do daily 30 situations for those months, because I can limit it, like 30 minutes, sure. But if I'm gonna have to do like 175 stitches, it's gonna take me hour and a half at least, depending on the project. So I don't have time for that and all the other things I want to do. So what are you doing? Yeah? What are you doing? So that's my plan for next year. And at some point here, when it gets a little closer, I'm slightly modifying my plans for next year, here and there. It's mostly solidified, but at some point I'm going to go through and do a little plans video with my journal, because I think that'll be fun, and I'm enjoying it. So beyond that, so I've been doing the AB Singo as bonus stitching too, a little bit. This is a bingo game in the Magazine Monthly Challenge group. I actually don't know if I have any bingos, because I keep forgetting to like actually mark off my bingo board. I'm only just recording what letters are stitched or called, because that's all I'm stitching is the letter. If a number is called, you need to do that many motifs, and I will either do it in this project or Books of the Bible, but we didn't have any numbers called this week. So I'm doing Sampler à Fleur by Jardin Privé, And I might do some of the leaves in this tree. If a number is called, I'm a little closer to it now to be able to handle that, but I got several letters stitched this time because that's all the only letters were called. So this has been pretty nice to work on. So I managed to get my letter done each time. And here is this one now. This is on a light pink. It's a Fiber on a Whim Morganite linen. It's a 40 count 1/2 with a soie d'Alger conversion that's very similar to what's called for. I wanted to test to see if silk would have a nice coverage on 40 count, and I think it does on over 2. And so, but the DMC, these are solid silks, so the DMC would be just fine for this project. I just wanted to see what the coverage would be like on this fabric and floss combo, and since there's not that many colors, I figured it'd be a good one to test that. So I did, I think, the M and the N, Q maybe. Let's see, when did I film last? I might have done the A and the K. I think I did the U down here. Yeah, so when was the Q? I might have already had the Q done. No, I did the Q this week. Yeah, so anyways, that's been fun. Maybe the C, did I do the C this week? Yeah, I did the C as well. So that's fun. I think this is accurate. I counted from way up here to from the L. So there's a little bit more, you know, going on here that's, I'm able to count the shorter length, and I think it's right. Hopefully, because I added another little letter there. So worst case, I'll take those out. Those are small letters, but I think they're right. So I'll keep chipping away at that one, no matter what's called in the AV Singo, and I'm not playing it officially. I'm just stitching on the letter that's called, which is usually less than 100 stitches, which is the minimum requirement for playing officially. So I'm not posting pictures. I'm just having fun. I'm playing along by myself. So then what next? Maybe we could do the gridiron grind because there's only one project there. This is my project for football season. So this is a game Kim Hollenbeck came up with. There is a event in the Facebook group Full Coverage Fanatics for this, but I am just stitching it on my own like everything else because several years back, I'm like, I don't really like posting pictures, so I'm not gonna. So I don't really, if I play along with a game, it's just all by myself. So I don't post things anymore. But this is a Heaven and Earth Designs. It's a no background version of A Crazy Wonderful Owl Family. This represents my family pretty well. And I'm working in the mama's head right now. I'm doing my typewriter method. So I'm like right there with the row that I'm picking symbols in. What I've discovered is this like shiny bit on her head ends up, the way it's charted with the DMC is kind of blocky and chunky, but it is to be expected, I guess. It's a cartoon, and I was looking back at the mock-up, and it is very abrupt at times, which I don't tend to like, but I'm okay with it because it's a cartoon. And the more I was stitching on it, even just with a few colors in her head there, it was like, well, it's not so bad. So, and then there is a very obvious shine there on her head. So it makes sense that it'd have to be kind of a stark contrast there. But the Broncos game was a little heartbreaking. We were offensively, we were playing a lot better than last week, but it was a very close game, and in the end was basically had our win ripped away from us. Literally, it said final score that we had won, and then there was a penalty that they brought it back and redid the kick, and then we lost. I was like, oh, sad. So it was very, very disappointing, but we still got 28 points, which is 280 stitches for this event that game that I'm playing. I'm doing 10 stitches per point that the Broncos get in their games. Some people are doing more things than that. They're getting stitches for the opposing teams or doing stitches for a variety of statistics, but I'm just doing regular points for our team. So this is now 8.58% after 280 full crosses. This is a Glacier Lugana and 28 count by Picture This Plus. So this is like kind of harsh right here, but even now it's a little actually less harsh than it was looking as I was stitching the first color along here. And then this is going to be a harsh change as well, that light pink, but and there's an even lighter pink too, but it's fine. I think it's going to be okay. Normally, if it was in a like water landscape or things that I would want it to look more natural, but since this is already a cartoon, I'm like, yeah, it's okay. So this is coming along really nicely. I'm picking several of these are almost, I think I have just a few more stitch symbols in here that I'll work on. I'm not sure how many weeks more I'll need to keep here before I come back here and start working in the next row. So we'll see. This one has been fun to pull out, and I actually got all my stitches done during the game, which is very nice. So hopefully I can do that most weeks, and then it doesn't encroach too much on the rest of my day, my stitchy time. I can't get anything else stitched during the game usually because there's a good amount of these to do. But I do like this, and I like working on this one for this game, so I'll probably keep doing this one next year. I'm enjoying that one. And then the Great British Baking Show. So I've been playing this one. This is originally a game created by Jessie Marie Dovestuff, and hers involves counting stitches. What I'm going to do, just to keep it simple, because I have a lot of other things I'm doing, is just one length of floss for whatever happens in the show. So there's a few categories of things you can do during the show each week that are the same, and then I assigned a project for each contestant. So whenever that contestant does something, they get a length of floss on that project. So I did a few things this week. The first one I'll show is Waterfall in Yosemite. This one got, I think, let's see, where is it? Yeah. This one had 3 strands put in this week because it needed one length from last week and 2 lengths from this week. The most recent episode was on Friday, so I worked on this on Saturday and so it's had, because I figured, well, I'll show it anyways for the stuff I did last week. So more stuff happened to this contestant this week. So then I figured, well, I'll just do them right away. And I think there's another contestant that had a project I worked on for last week, but I didn't have enough time to get to that one as well, because that would have been nice to do both of them and then show you once for everything, but that's okay. So here is this one. This is, I'll hold it back here to be side by side, but it's an 18 count antique white Aida 2/1 full cross. This is a golden kite pattern. And I worked in the rocks here. I don't know if I could do a before and after for that. I might not have a before, but I picked several of the colors that were high here and just kind of filled them in wherever they went. And I did 51 stitches with the first length, and then the next 2 lengths gave me 146 stitches. So now it's at 25.70% for the whole thing. So that's fun. This contestant is still in the game, so I will get more time on it eventually. Then I worked on 3 Sisters, which was one from last week that I needed to work on. This is another golden kite, and I'm working in this girl, and I think I did work in the girl. I ended up pulling a long length. One of the lengths in Waterfall was the same way where it was a blend, so I just full 4-foot deal. And oh, did I not bring this? Oh, I think there's a couple that I didn't bring. I'll be right back. There were my 2 really long ones that were in a different spot because they were so long. So I ended up forgetting to bring them up here. So 3 Sisters got, so my one long length of a blend I worked on while I chatted with my mom, and this one got 138 stitches. This is an 18 count as well, probably white. 2/1 full cross. It's now at 4.24%. And I think it was in here. One of the darker colors was in there. So, yep. Every little bit. That was the color that was highlighted. I think I'd been working on it last time. So that I pulled this out. And I think there's more of it in her face. So I'll probably work on that again when this gets more happenings in the Great British Baking Show. Because it's not, that contestant is still in the game as well. I don't think that one is coming out this week though. So that one was, that's it for now. And then we had the Villa Mirabilia I worked on last week. And this is the one that I will get to put another strand in this week. But I didn't have time, so I'll get to that hopefully this week. This is a oldie, but a goodie. This is the other one that was still downstairs because it's so big. So I did 1 length of floss in the pot. So here is all of it. This is a 32 count willow green Belfast, I think. 2/2 full cross, and I'll do a before of and after of just the pot because it's so big. So I don't even know if you will be able to see it because the length was this color right here that's very similar to the shade of the fabric. The fabric will be showing through here in the pot. You're not filling the whole pot in. So that's like why this shade of fabric is very helpful because it really does blend perfectly with this floss. So I'll keep working. I have this in books so I can mark off what I'm doing. And so it was really easy. I already had the pot like marked off in books, what I had done already. So it was really easy to see what I had left. And so I'll be able to get probably another stitch, another length of that same shade of green. And then there's some more, there's still some more in the pot. I think the greenery might be all done. So now I need to work on the pot and then the bead garlands. And then I can move back to her, I think. So hopefully this contestant does really well in the baking show and gets lots of strands and I can maybe finish the pot by playing this game. That would be fun. Okay, so what else did I do with Great British Baking Show? That might have been it. So yeah, because I showed you my antique shoe collection last time that I'd already worked on before I'd filmed before. So this week, I've already done my waterfall and Yosemite requirements. Oh, I didn't bring the things. Oh, I'll just show them anyways. I need to do another length on Villa Mirabilia, and then the other two that I need to do are, I'll put the pictures up for my before spots from a couple weeks ago that I showed. To Everything, a season sampler gets 1 length of thread, and then grapes. Unfortunately, that contestant has been eliminated, which is similar to Antique Shoe Collection, where it's like, oh, really? I would have liked more time. I wanted more time on grapes, but I'll get 2 lengths of thread in on grapes this week, hopefully. So hopefully I'll get to that. And then I think everything else is like regular cross stitching because, you know, it's not all regular. It's bonus and then it's main stitching. And that's the other thing I want to kind of rein in the, if I have the cycling race stitches taking me an extra long time to get all the stitches done on most of the days, then my main piece for the day sometimes even gets less progress than the cycling project. So it's like, well, that's kind of backwards, right? So if I just limit it to a daily 30 project, it'll be a half hour, put it away, and I have more time on my like focus piece for the day. So I'm looking forward to that. And so this coming week that will happen, and I'll see how everything plays nicely together with a daily 30, gridiron grind, Great British Baking Show, and like regular pieces. So we'll see if that's a better balance going forward. So my like official projects for each day, I have my gift stitch on Monday and Tuesday. This is Beachcomber by Lindy Stitches. I'm doing this for my mom. And last week I even told you I had decided to not fill in the text box with the light color back there. And then even as I was showing it, I lifted it up and was showing it. I'm like, I feel like it needs that background. And my original concern, not only would it take time to do it, but the blue that I've chosen has some really pale areas, and I was afraid that maybe if I put the background in, the pale areas would blend in too much. But then I'm thinking, well, they might actually blend in more with the tan fabric than they would with the off-white thread. So I think I'm gonna fill it in. And cementing my initial gut reaction when I saw it on the film, I had a commenter as well say that she thought maybe it would look better with that filled in. It would give it a nice pop. So that kind of pushed me over the edge. You know what? I think you're right. I think I need to do it. So I finished the length of thread I was doing on the letters. The letters aren't quite done. They're almost done, but I got to start on the background. And this is, and I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm happy with it. So it'll take a little while, but it's not boring because I am going in between all the little letters. So it keeps it interesting. This is a 40 count linen in, I think it's a raw linen, 1/2 full cross with DMC, not DMC, mostly fancy flosses from my stash that are similar to what's called for. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I think it's, so the next time this comes out, you're going to see a lot of background stitching in that text box, but that's okay. I think it will be nice. And so then I moved on to my WIPGO piece for September. My first call was My Story by Jeanette Douglas. And this is one that I can't play games with very well because most of this I can't count stitches very easily. It's specialty stitches predominantly. There's some cross stitching in here, but most of it's specialty stitches, which, yeah. And it's a paper pattern. I don't count that stuff. But it would be nice to get it done sooner rather than later. I don't know if it'll get done this year, but I went ahead and subbed it out for Enchanted Alphabet, which was my other WIPGO call for September, and I finished it. So this is now going to continue to stay out for Wednesday, Thursday, this weekend, next week. So we'll see more time on that. And I went back to my WIPGO board, and I have one other spot that Enchanted Alphabet was still on. Because I think I'd subbed that out for something else that I'd finished earlier in the year. So I went ahead and subbed My Story for that one too. So it's going to have 4 more days this month, and then 4 more days whenever that other square gets called. If I can work on it, if I have time on it, like there's sometimes on Wednesday, Thursday, I have a hard time finding time to stitch. But assuming I can get some time on it, maybe I can push it close to a finish. That would be really great. So here's where I got to. Wednesday, not a lot got finished, but Thursday I managed to have some decent stitching time and I got more done on it. I'm pretty happy with it now. So this is where I'm at with this one, and this is a 32 count lamb's wool linen by Witchelt, and it's all my own threads, similar to what's called for. So I finally finished this band. Had the Hungarian stitches in there that are like alternating satin stitches, but then I added cross stitches and beads. Yeah, there you can see some beads. And then I did the Queen Stitch Strawberry right there. And these are some satin stitches that kind of look like falling leaves, which is really fun. And then I'm starting to cross stitch the border here in the same variegated that was that one and this one down here. It's all one. It's a DMC variegated actually. So I'm just working my way around this, and then I can do the bits and bobs inside. Probably I might actually stitch my name over 2. Her name is stitched over 1, but her name is longer, and I think I could fit, so it doesn't look like awkward and tiny in there. I think I could fit mine over 2 in there. So I might go ahead and do that way. And then I worked on a couple things that were, first I had another little a few bonus stitches that I put in on Lady of the Flag on September 11th, because this was created for September 11th. It was put out in 2001, I believe, and I picked it up in the in my yeah, 2001. I picked it up in an LNS in 2001 and didn't start it until more like maybe 10 years ago. But now I was chatting with Colette, the highway stitcher, and she has this too. So we kind of figured, well, while we're chatting, maybe we should work on this together to honor September 11th. So that was nice. So I didn't do a whole lot on this, but I did a little bit. And this is, oh, did I not even write it down? I don't think I wrote it down, but I did do some. They're just like one length of thread essentially in this dark red in the flag. So, because I was working on other stuff as well while we chatted, I was working on my AB Singo and my Enchanted Alphabet. And then I just finished one length of thread in there to say I worked on it. So this is on Stony Point linen by Witchell, 2/2 full cross. So I do like working on this whenever I bring it out. So that was nice. Not really worth showing, but everything's worth showing, right? So the two pieces that I picked this week to just put some time into to make sure all of my pieces get at least a little bit of attention this year were two former birthday starts. So this is a Mirabilia Garden Prelude, and I worked in her dress right here, just pulling some of the teals down. Yeah, I was just thinking as I was stitching it, there are some different symbols, and I was right. There's a ribbon down in the back and coming right here. So I worked above that ribbon, and I figured pretty soon I'm gonna get some purples in here, but right now I just worked on teals. Just had one day on it. I guess we'll go here. This is a 32 count Lugana in Wedgwood by Color and Cotton, and it's 2/2 full cross. And I just picked symbols, pulled them all down in several different colors, like 1 or 2 strands of each one, and yeah, got some more done in her dress. So pretty happy with that. No numbers. I don't count stitches unless I don't count stitches. But if I'm working on a project that's in Pattern Keeper, it counts stitches for me, so then I know them to tell you. And then the full coverage that I picked for this week is another former birthday start, which did not get the time that I wanted it to because I was working on, I think it was Waterfall in Yosemite, kind of hijacked that day because I really wanted to get both lengths of floss done. And so I'm like, oh well, that's the way it goes. So I ended up finishing a strand of this on Sunday as well, just to get a little bit more done. So this is an Artisy pattern by artwork by Leonid Afromov, and I think mine's on Silver Moon linen, 40 count, and total 139 stitches, so not a lot, but something. And it's now at 1.75%, so there's still a long way to go. And I love how this one flows with colors. So you pick a symbol and it goes pretty far. So I will enjoy getting back to this one more significantly next time. And it's yeah, I don't know what else I was going to say on that one. Oh yeah, it's a 40 count 1/1 half cross, so it will be kind of tiny, but I don't mind. That's a fun one. And then I did manage to get to my seasonal Sunday piece. This month I'm going to work on Fall Floral Cross by Cooler Design Studio, and I went ahead and purchased the digital version. I think this was a gift actually, but this is from Everything Cross Stitch, physical copy. And all my other ones were kits from way back when. but they are now on Everything Cross Stitch. They are now on the Cooler Design Studio website as a PDF that's compatible with Pattern Keeper. So it was so nice. It was so nice. So I enjoyed working on this, and I will have fun working on this the rest of the month. So this is where I got to 142 stitches. This is on a 14 count Fiddler's Ada, 2/1 full cross, called for DMCs, and it's now at 5.95%, and I can tell you that because it's in Pattern Keeper. So I did the oranges and the reds right here. So not a ton. I had not a lot of time left in the day to work on this because I was finishing up Enchanted Alphabet to get that all the way done. But I will have fun filling in more of this top bits, and then I can start backstitching, add some more of the, I'll just still have to use the physical pattern for the, or the PDF even, for the backstitching, but that's okay. So this should come out 3 more times in the month of September for Seasonal Sunday, so that'll be fun. Get that one moving along a little bit more. And I think that's everything I worked on. So all of this is plans, I think. Yeah. Okay, so plans for this week. My gift stitch for Monday and Tuesday is I'm going back to Bear Time Stories. I'm just rotating through the same 4 gift stitches. This is Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Randall Spangler. This is the mini. So I'll give this a couple days here. And I am still working on filling in the bear's head. So that's where I will be working. This is a 40 count Verdal 1/1 half cross. And that's my starting point. That'll be fun. Hopefully I can have some nice time on that one. I will do another 2 days on My Story, which I just showed you, but the Jeanette Douglas one. So hopefully I can get more work done on that middle thing where the name goes. That'd be kind of nice, maybe even to finish the name block. We'll see. And then this weekend, my 2nd birthday start. I'm going to do 4 birthday starts this month because I'm turning 44, or I turned 44. It already happened. Where is it? This is by Works by ABC. Here it is. Exquisite Lace. And I'll work on this on Friday and Saturday. And I'm going to stitch mine with, I believe, DMC 23 on this 28 count Huntress by Picture This Plus 1/1 full cross. So that's my plan, and I'm excited. So we'll see how, and I bought the PDF from Arlene's Works by ABC Etsy shop, and it works in Pattern Keeper. So FYI, if anyone's interested, I think Colette, the Highway Stitcher, is going to join me on that one. She has that pattern as well, and she makes lace. She does bobbin lace as another craft. So this one always kind of appealed to her anyway. So she's going to go ahead and start it while she's at a retreat on that weekend. So that'll be fun to see hers. I think she's going to do hers in with a rich teal fabric. So that'll be fun. So if anyone else is interested in starting that one, let me know. Then another day on Fall Floral Cross. So in addition, we'll do Gridiron Grind for whatever the Broncos do on Sunday. And my bonus stitching throughout the week is going to switch over now to a temperature daily 30 like I've done in the past, only this will be for birthday favorites. These are things that I just want to do. They have been calling to me. They're bright colors. They should be happy. And I've narrowed it down to 5 projects because I'm a little nervous if I run out of time or I want to make sure they all get some time. And if I do a full 10, sometimes certain numbers don't get called or don't get, the temperature affiliated with that number doesn't work in the game. So I figured I'll just narrow it down to my 5 top favorites, and I alphabetized them like I do and assigned them to the digits. So the first one is Bees on a Flower. This was a former birthday start last year before. This is by Ina Benenko. I think I got this on mybobbin.com. It's mostly full crosses. There's a little bit of half cross and some back stitching. So I'll be excited to pull this one out again. This is on a 14 count. So it's bigger, or not 14, 28 count over 2. So this is equivalent of 14 count. This is a starting point, and it's kind of a, you can see it right here, like a beak honeycomb fabric by Fabric Flair. It's very, very pale, but if you look closely, you can see it. So this is my starting point, and I have been picking symbols in the top. So there are some light background half stitches in there, and some of these bubbles are done. So this is a wing, I think. So maybe I'll work more on that next time, whenever this gets called next, but we'll see. But I got the bones for some of the bees there, and so that'll be fun. I'm excited to pull that one out again. And so these will get a half hour when the second digit of the last digit of the temperature matches. So this is for the digits 0 and 1. And then let's go over here, make sure I get this right. Then we have Hibiscus Fairy, which I think might have been a birthday start at 1.2. This is a Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Meredith Dillman. And it's so fun. I love these colors. I'm still up in the top, but eventually I'll get to do the fairy and the kitty and just all the rich bright pinks. This is really fun. So this is on a 28 count, 2-dyed Monaco Charles Craft 1/1 full cross. So that's my starting point. It's the whole length of the design. I believe I went across the very top row picking symbols, and now I'm coming back, filling in the 10 by 10 boxes, picking symbols that way, and then carrying them, stitching them in wherever they go. So you can already see the archway, some of the leaves. So yay! So this one will get attention for the numbers 2 and 3 when the temperature ends in a 2 or a 3. And then Hidden Harbor, which is one I haven't worked on yet this year, and I'm excited about. So I love this one too. Another Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Andy Russell. This is the color expansion version. Not quite max colors, but it's got a lot of colors, and makes it extra smooth transitioning. So I'm working my way across the top again in 10 by 10 blocks, picking symbols. I think I'm around here somewhere picking symbols. So I'm excited to get this one done, or get this one worked on. I don't know when it'll get done. This is another, feels like 28 count Charles Craft Monaco 1/1 full cross. And this is I think this is the edge. I didn't realize I was that far across, but I'm still picking symbols right here because these 10 by 10 grids are not yet finished yet. So that's where I'm choosing my next symbols, and then I'll carry them wherever they go, focusing as much as possible at the top so that when I get to these blocks over here, I will already have things filled in, and I will get those blocks finished quicker. So yay! So that's fun. I'm excited to get that one out. That will come out when the last digit is a 4 or a 5. And then my next one is the one I just started, Mini Hummingbird in Roses. I get a little start on this, but not a lot. And Colette showed me her start. She started this with me. She has pretty much this whole bud finished. So I gotta get moving. It's not a race, but I am so excited to get more of this done. It's a mini, so it flows pretty well. I took the background out, so I'm working on the bud, and I have a little bit of speckled things going on in the head of the hummingbird too. So this is by Oleg Gavrilov. I'm stitching this on Wild Bouquet by Bee Stitch Me in a 25 count Lugana. And there's my starting point. It's a very fun fabric. And I have the bones of the bud, picking symbols like this first row is done. And then this is the back of the hummingbird's head and the part of its beak. So there's a little bit of these colors were over here too. So that's my starting point on that one. That will come out when the number 6 or 7 is the end of the temperature. And then the last one is Patchwork Quilt Room. This is one I just like it, and it's something that I think would be a fun one for my craft room someday. And it's just me. So this is a quick stitch that I'm cropping. Artwork by Ciro Marchetti. So mine will be like this much. So I'm right here doing some stuff, but then I can get the teapot and the sewing bits and the kitty cat. And those are my favorite parts of this. So this will come out when the second digit is an 8 or a 9, which is today, because yesterday was a high of 89. So this is a tiny one because I'm doing this on 40 count Verdal, and it's the crop of a quick stitch. So I think there's stitches all the way out to here. So this is my starting point, 40 count Verdal, 1/1 half cross. And you can see the edge of a curtain, the start of a butterfly, and the bush behind the butterfly. This is a pot of flowers and some molding on the window. So we'll see where I get to on that one today. So we'll see which ones come out. Hopefully I'll get a nice smattering of them each week. That'll be so much fun. So these will be the 5 projects I'll work on for Temperature Daily 30 for the rest of September. So I'm excited about that. And I think that's everything I have to share. It's been fun. And Smokey is still in here. She came back after messing around. Yeah. I hope you have a wonderful week and enjoy whatever you're stitching on. Happy stitching. Bye.